Hello everyone, my name is Savant here and welcome to Spellsling on a Shoestring. This is the series where I show you how you can play some of Magic the Gathering's greatest formats on a tiny budget. Today we will be heading to Pioneer to check out a deck based around one of the most broken and parasitic mechanics of recent years, energy. This is Gruul Pummeler. Before I jump into the deck tech, please click like, subscribe and click on the bell icon to keep up to date with all the latest and greatest videos from yours truly. It's a great way to support me for free. Alright, let's jump in. Today we're looking at Gruul Pummeler. It's an aggro deck with a bit of a combo finish. The idea of this deck is to smash your opponents using powerful creatures and pump spells, often to kill them in one shot. So this is quite similar actually to Infect in Modern, so if you're a fan of that deck type, you'll be sure to love this. We've got a nice suite of creatures to get down and aggressive with, most of which are from Kaladesh block as they do benefit from and synergize with the energy mechanic that we are looking to abuse. We have 20 creatures in total, all of which are a 4-of. First up, we have the namesake of the deck, Electrostatic Pummeler. This is a 3-mana 1/1, which doesn't sound very strong, but it's the activated ability that sets this creature apart from the rest. For just 3 energy, you can essentially double its power and toughness, meaning that pump spells are twice as potent when used on it. So it enters with 3 energy, which is enough to activate it once, but we'll want to activate it twice for the most effective result. And should Pummeler fail to take out our opponent, we have a beefy team of creatures to join the fray and close out the game. Our 2-drops are Longtusk Cub and Voltaic Brawler. Longtusk Cub is a grizzly bear with huge potential upside. When it deals combat damage, it creates 2 energy, and it costs 2 energy to put a +1/+1 counter on it. So if it's left uncontested, this will get swole and out of control fast. While Voltaic Brawler can't get quite as big as the Cub, its baseline stats make it an excellent early attacker. It's a 3/2 for a red and a green and can gain +1/+1 and trample when it attacks, which will work very nicely with our pump spells to punch through blockers and get damage in early. So far, we've looked at some very powerful but reasonably killable creatures. What we need is a beater that can withstand removal to help us in those grindier games, and Bristling Hydra is exactly what we're looking for. For 2 green, you get a 4/3 Hydra and 3 energy, and you can give it hexproof and +1/+1 counter for just 3 energy, which makes this your best card against removal heavy decks. Our final creature in our deck is Goreclan Rampager. Now, a 4/4 Trampler for 4 mana doesn't sound too exciting, but its Blood Rush ability is what makes this special. You can discard this card and pay red and a green at any time to give another creature +4/+4 and trample. This is especially useful as it's basically uncounterable, and you can Blood Rush it even if your opponent has a Teferi Time Raveler out. Now we move on to the spells in the deck. We've got 21 and they all serve particular roles. Attune with Ether is a great card that helps you hit your land drops and fix your mana without needing a high land count. Plus, it gives you 2 energy, which is nearly enough for a Pummeler activation alone. A fantastic addition and the best turn 1 play. Harness Lightning is our primary removal spell. It lets you pay any amount of energy to do that much damage to a creature. This will help you kill a blocker or a threat while netting some energy for other shenanigans later down the line. Now we're going to move to the pump spells. What we want to do ideally is get our Pummeler's power to 5 so that 2 activations of its ability will pump it all the way up to 20 damage. We're going with 4 Collision Colossus for this very reason, and it also comes with the upside of being able to kill almost any flyer should the need arise. Next up is 2 copies of Become Immense, which gives a creature a massive +6/+6 while costing as little as just 1 green mana. This is a great gotcha card for when the opponent thinks they've made safe blocks. You can use it to blow them out, or you can pump an unblocked creature to punch through for lethal. The next tool in our arsenal is Temur Battle Rage. A trick favoured by Death Shadow decks in Modern, this gives a creature double strike and trample if its power is 4 or greater. This can be super devastating when cast on a Pummeler that's been pumped already. Finally, we need to protect our threats. For that, we've got 4 copies of Blossoming Defense. While this only pumps power and toughness by 2, it does give a creature hexproof, and fizzling your opponent's removal while growing your threat is a steal at just 1 green mana. Now onto the mana base, and it's quite straightforward. We're running 4 Aether Hub as they're basically rainbow lands with no downside in this deck, 4 Rootbound Crag to help us fix our colours, then just 7 Forest and 4 Mountain, as we've double green costs in the deck. The sideboard is also fairly simple. 4 Destructive Revelry to deal with any artifact or enchantment that we may need to take out, 2 Ethersphere Harvester to both buffer our life total against other aggressive decks and take to the skies when attacking on the ground isn't viable. 3 Radiant Flames to use both as sweepers against go-wide decks and also to kill the zombie tokens from Field of the Dead decks. 4 Greenbelt Rampager to bring in if we want to take on less combo and more aggro approach. And finally, 2 Rhythm of the Wild to do a number of things. Make our creatures uncounterable, give them haste to try and rush the opponent, or just help them outgrow our opponent's creatures. So the total cost of this deck at the time of recording is just $38 according to MTG Goldfish, which is insanely cheap for the power that you're getting. There are some upgrades, but honestly this deck is almost full power already. You can add 4 Stomping Grounds to the mana base and take out 2 of each basic. This upgrade alone will more than double the cost of the deck, but it's worth considering if you decide to stick with Pummeler in the long term, as it will vastly improve your mana. Gruul Pummeler is a sweet deck with some crazy powerful turns. This deck does best against slower, more non-interactive decks like Field of the Dead decks, and is capable of racing other aggressive decks like Mono Red. It stumbles quite badly, however, against removal heavy decks like Golgari Midrange and Blue-White Control, but a timely Blossoming defense can make all the difference. Here are some tips and interesting plays that I've learned during my time with the deck. As I said earlier, one of the most important things in this deck is to get your Pummeler's power to at least 5 before activating its ability, as this means 2 activations is all you need to deal a full 20 damage. Be sure to be conservative with your energy and pump spells if you think you can find a window to punch through, but don't be afraid to use them if you think you'll have to grind out a win. You can target any creature with Harness Lightning and choose to pay 0 energy. So this will give you 3 energy for 2 mana, which is another Pummeler activation, another counter and hexproof on a Bristling Hydra, or just more fuel for your Ether hubs. This can help in control matches where your removal may not have any good targets. Another thing, don't underestimate Trample. Pumping a creature with a spell that gives Trample can help poke through a few extra points of damage, which all add up. But in the case of Longtusk Cub, if they trample over for even 1 point of damage, you get another 2 energy, which is worth considering if you're a little low on the resource. Be careful not to over sideboard. If you don't pay attention to what you're taking out of the deck after game 1, you may not realise that you could be pulling out too many energy enablers, making the overall deck synergies much worse and maybe even giving you a worse post-board game. Did you enjoy this video? What changes would you make to the list? Are there other decks you want to see a budget version of? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you like this and would like to support me, there are several ways that you can do so. You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch, you can join me on my Patreon, or you can get me a coffee. All links are in the description box below. I'm also happy to say that I've partnered with Inked Gaming to give you lovely folks a 10% discount in their store. From custom and store art playmats, dice bags, PC gaming mousepads, and loads more. Be sure to click on the link in the description box below and use the offer code SAVANTIER for 10% off. By doing this, you're also supporting me, which I think is really nice of you. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, take it easy and keep on janking.